Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to a random live stream. We did this a couple of months ago. It went well. I don't want you guys to freak out or anything because the title. I literally titled it something similar. I think last time it was like "Let's chat for no reason" or whatever. Yeah. I do have a couple of things that we'll talk about at some point that I do want to get to, but I want to use this opportunity to let Hannah kind of do the moderation on the chat. We watch Philip DeFranco a lot, and he always did these streams back in the day where his assistant or his editor or whatever would pick out the questions and feed them to me. So that's, I guess, what we're going to try out today. So.
And what's going on after this?
Oh, and after this, we're doing the Folie à Deux live listening party over on Twitch. Follow ARTV Games. We're going to kind of cool our jets and just chill out together, listen to Folie à Deux, my favorite Fall Out Boy record.
That's the one that won the pool.
Yes,
right?
That's the one that won the poll, so that's absolutely right. Let's throw that up on screen real quick because I do have the poll results here. It was close, but Foley pulled it out.
Surprising, huh?
Yeah, here we go. See, whoops, I moved me. My bad. But those are the results for the live listening party. Foley beat out the likes of Nimrod and even Trench and OK Computer. It was kind of close, but thanks to those who did vote. So we're gonna listen to Foley together. All right. Well, without further ado, ask away, guys, and we'll talk about it.
Thoughts on the new Knuckle Puck album?
I've only heard it once so far. I thought it was solid enough. I thought it was maybe a step up slightly from their last record, but Knuckle Puck are one of those groups that I just, since their debut, I've had a hard time connecting with their vocalist. I think he's kind of, Joe Taylor has definitely changed his style and approach a lot, and it's definitely not as gritty. It's a little bit too polished for my personal liking, and I'm just so picky when it comes to modern pop punk anyways that, I couldn't see this as being something that I would religiously come back to because of, the lyrics are kind of generic. Songs like Earthquake, for example, I could point to. Just a little bit too paper thin for me, but not bad. Definitely some good guitar moments and even some drum moments on there too.
Alright, lots of people are saying other albums should have won that, which is surprising. It looks like a lot of people wanted Nimrod, a lot of people wanted Trench, but it still is going to happen someday, I'm sure.
I was about to say it's not
like it's never going to
Right,
happen.
it's not like I'll never do those, but it's just I want to give my patrons, those who support me in that way, I want to give them a chance to vote on things like this, just as a thank you. So they won't all be decided that way.
What do you have a favorite film?
A favorite film is such a hard thing because it's it depends on my mood. If I want to watch something darker or more documentarian or a comedy, which I love a good comedy.
Why don't you just list a couple?
Yeah, sure. It's kind
of hard to know.
Yeah, some of my favorites, the Dark Knight. Not The Dark Knight Rises, the actual Dark Knight. Not that I don't like that film, but The Dark Knight in particular is just fantastic. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. For comedy, obviously, I go back to The Hangover a lot. I'm trying to think of an old. We just watched E.T. last night. That's a great one. Jurassic Park though, definitely an all-time favorite.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I can be a little bit all over the place with movie taste. There's not just necessarily one consistent thing that I always love.
Yeah. Someone suggested that you need to rank all of the Beatles albums, and I agree.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Why are you doing that?
God, I haven't done a ranked episode all year, and it's just been every time I get back into that mindset, it's of doing another ranked or whatever. It's oh my God, I really, when you do something so much, I did ranked for 2 years where I uploaded every month, right? When you rank an entire discography once a month, basically for 24 months, you kind of burn out a little bit on it, and it's hard to get back into that mindset. And Tool in particular are the one that I just need to I don't want to let anybody down, but I might do Jimmy Eat World before I do Tool, because Tool are so hard for me because it's I don't know, I'm not necessarily always a full album fan with Tool. Their stuff can get a little bit monotonous if you're listening to albums back to back, for example. And it's hard for me because I almost have them all like are right around the same level as each other. And so it's like almost impossible for me to put them in order. That's what I've been so tripped up on. And then I come back and circle back to that, and it can be difficult. But I'll probably do Jimmy Eat World before I do Tool.
All right. Let's see. I know this is kind of an odd question, but do you have a favorite movie score? I know a lot of people ask about like soundtracks.
Oh yeah, I do. I mean, I love ones that are like sometimes like over the top, or else you're just very aware of their presence. Like I love the Inception score. Interstellar is literally stellar. Anytime that like Christopher Nolan and Hans Zimmer team up, it's very, very cool. I love the Drive score.
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling, that's an incredible one. That's probably my personal favorite. If we're not talking like full on like soundtracks, some things that aren't in the movies, if we're just talking about the pure score, then like probably Drive.
Cool. Favorite game of all time? I know you've answered this.
Yeah, I've answered that one plenty of times, but my favorite like video game?
Yeah.
Resident Evil 4. Yeah.
Have you heard the new Water Parks song snippet?
No.
They released?
No, but
Austin.
No, but those motherfuckers, I just dropped my top 10 and they're going to
know.
make it instantly outdated possibly. So, thanks, Austin. But new haircut, looking a little bit slick, so I'll let you off the hook.
Do you think we're gonna get an MCR record next year?
No, I don't think we're. But y'all know my feelings. I hope we don't get another MCR record.
Yeah.
I think they should leave the legacy as is. But that's just me. They could totally prove me wrong. You know.
Yeah. Are you looking forward to the new Deftones album with the singles being out? Have you heard those?
I have, and I think I like this. I've only heard the second single once, but I really, really liked it. Yeah, I'm definitely excited. I mean, a lot of people I know weren't as crazy about Gore, but I ended up enjoying that record a few years back, and I'm sure I'm gonna like Ohms too. So. We'll see. Right now, it looks like the poll that I put up over on the community tab, the biggest three that you guys were interested in seeing were Choji, MGK, and Deftones. So those will probably be the three that I try to cover, and it's not that I won't cover the other two. It'll probably just be in the Album Awards show that will come out by the end of October.
Have you seen the Muse Simulation Theory film?
I've seen clips of it. Like, I've seen certain performances. Like, the other day, I watched Take a Bow, for example. But, yeah, I've seen parts of it. And I think that, yeah, obviously, pretty epic. The stage design is crazy. It's wild. And right now, it's just hard to watch because it makes you want to jump back into some sort of live experience.
How do you feel going into the new MGK album?
I feel rough, man. I feel like I'm gonna get beat up on a little bit because like I don't like the singles, and I think people think that I'm going into it wanting to hate it, and I don't approach any record that way. At least I try my hardest not to. It's just that based on what I'm hearing so far, it's just not up my alley, man. It's just generic, really generic pop punk, and I can't just like it because like, oh, he's a bigger name bringing it back or whatever. I just don't feel that his voice sounds good in a singing format like this, especially over the production, the instrumentals that sound just like Blink-182 songs. Like, I know I'm just like gonna keep saying that, but it's like literally true. And Travis Barker executive produced the album, so yeah. Can't say that I'm all that excited.
Here's an interesting one.
Okay.
Someone that knows you used to live in Wilmington.
Okay.
They said they're going there this week. Any recommendations
They
while they're there?
They know me?
No. They know that you used to live there.
Oh, I thought you said that they know me, and I was trying to think, like, who would that be? They're going to Wilmington? Okay, let me think. Well, let's see. That was a very shitty time in my life. Very lonely. It was just me living there. It's hard to say because of COVID, because I don't know what is open and what's not, because normally I would recommend that you go check out like a show at like Ziggy's by the Sea, But right now, it makes it a little bit tougher. It depends on like what you're into in terms of food, but there's literally bumper stickers everywhere. It's like a local spot that says "Eat at Flaming Amy's." Like, try out Flaming Amy's if you're into that type of food. Obviously, like if you're like be safe. I don't know what's open and what's not, and where you can safely do things like this. But I always like going to Jerry Allen's, which is down on the main strip at Wrightsville Beach. There's a jukebox in there, but don't try and play a Fall Out Boy song because it'll never play.
I think we've still got the stream bot going from last time.
Do we?
About requests.
My bad.
We're not a thing today.
My bad.
If you want to take care of that.
Yeah, I got you. Stupid cloud bot.
In the meantime, what is your opinion on Alice in Chains?
Alice in Chains. In the meantime. Yeah. All right, I turned it off. Alice in Chains are fucking awesome. Like, obviously, like, it's different these days now that you've got William Duvall in there instead of Lane Staley, but like Jerry Cantrell has stepped up a lot more. They always had like amazing harmonies, but to see Jerry doing more, I thought Rainier Fog was like a really solid album, to be honest. But they've been inconsistent since William joined, and I know it's never going to be the same. It's not meant to be the same, but like early AIC is just, I mean, they're considered a part of the Big Four in grunge for a reason. Just so sludgy, so good.
Have you listened to Rina Sawayama's 2017 EP?
Yeah, I have. I checked that out before I covered the album, and it's just it's nice to see her growth. Like, I think it was good, but I think that she did even better with her debut like full-length album. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you guys see that somewhere up high on my year-end best albums list for Sawayama. If you haven't checked it out and you like pop, nu metal, like 2000 sounding pop and a little bit of rock, just a weird fusion from a very talented artist, then I can't recommend that record enough.
Do you ever keep up with the modern Nashville scene other than bro country, which I know you hate?
I get a little bit from my old buddy Spectrum Pulse, you know, like for example, like I really dug the new Rustin Kelly record. It just depends, I guess, like on what I'm in the mood for, because sometimes I'll be like, yeah, I'm kind of like in a little bit of like a twangy mood, you know, it happens, you know? It be like that sometimes. You gotta get a little bit of twang or a little bit of steel guitar in your system. And because I grew up on country music, but I strayed away from it for so long. But yeah, I'll check out some artists from time to time. I can't say it's like a top priority, but it's more like something comforting that I can come back to.
Do you listen to Neon Trees?
Not really these days. Like if somebody threw on some Neon Trees, like obviously, like Everybody Talks or something, sure. Like a lot of that early stuff holds up really well. I just think I played it so much back in the day. It's one of those things where I just kind of like almost just got so tired of it in a way. And I've heard their new album. I do plan to cover that on the Album Awards. I actually thought it was fairly decent, but then again, I can't really call a final verdict on that yet because I've only heard it in full twice, I believe, and that was like a week apart from each other.
What do you think happened to Pierce the Veil? Where are they?
Where are they? I'm so sorry. Pierce the Veil kind of dropped off, and they kind of do this. It's been 4 years. They take their fucking time, man. And I know they had the whole incident with their drummer or whatever, but now he's like apparently back in the band, which cool, whatever. I'm ready for the new music.
I think they are working on music. I saw Vic post something recently about it.
They've been saying that for so long, though.
Yeah.
I really don't know. It's been like it was 4 years from Collide with the Sky to Misadventures, and now it's been 4 years again since Misadventures, 4+ years. So, I really don't know.
I hope it's happening soon, because I do like them.
I do too. I really liked both of those records a lot. So.
What did you think of the new I Don't Know How single?
Oh, Razzmatazz, I thought was great. Yeah.
We both actually haven't even listened to it
Not together. Yeah, no, it's like that good old fashioned Razzmatazz. No, I really, really liked it. I think that they are 2 for 2 for sure. Leave Me Alone, I like better, but that's literally one of my easily top 10 favorite songs of the year. So.
Nice.
We'll see. We'll see. It could get even better for me with time. I'm just ready for the album, you know? It's like less than a month away now, so we'll see how that turns out. Hopefully, I feel like it'll probably be one of my favorites of the year. I hope.
Yeah, I hope so too. Seeing as musicians have lots of time to write due to COVID, do you think Green Day will release a new album in 2021 for their new label?
That's the thing I was thinking about recently, because it's like they are out of their contract now, I believe, but they're still contracted to do hella mega. So I don't think so, but you never know. My thing is, I don't think they're going to, just because like they're still like Warner, I think, has them in it to like promote Father of All with this tour. And since that even though I mean, like, I don't think they're going to play a ton of songs from Father of All, especially, they'll be like a year and a half old at that point. And, like, let's be honest, like, it's a super mediocre album. And I just I really don't think that there's going to be that much fan demand for people to play those songs. So throw in Father of All, play Fire, Aim, Ready, or whatever the fuck it's called, and let's call it a day. Let's move on to some of the other. Play Graffitia. There you go. Play Graffitia, play Sugar Youth, and play Father of All, and then call it a day.
Favorite festival you've been
to? I really liked the setup of Sonic Temple. We just had like a lot of unfortunate behind the scenes circumstances. I mean, it was great, and it was a blessing and a curse at the same time. Because I really liked the layout. I thought that we had a lot of advantages there. I got to meet a lot of you guys there. We did like a little fan meetup, and that was amazing. I had never gotten to like connect with like a group of people that in person. Like, I've had like obviously individual encounters and stuff at concerts, but that was awesome. But overall, my favorite is probably the first Boston Calling that we went to. I really liked our place that we stayed. I really liked the festival itself. There were just so many great bands and artists that we were bouncing around between. Like, we couldn't even like get there fast enough, you know? And not that the second year was bad, but still.
I also loved that festival, they have wristbands that you can scan, so you can re-enter all throughout the day. Like, you can go eat somewhere else if you don't want to buy $25 sandwich at the festival.
Oh yeah, and that was
a great advantage.
That was another bad thing about Sonic Temple was the pricing. And the pricing, and you couldn't leave and the food, they knew they had you trapped, so they charged out the ass.
Are you hyped for the upcoming Pup EP?
Yeah, I am, but like I don't want to say like I'm not hyped, but 3 of the songs are already out. There's only like 2 more. They're mostly leftovers from last year's Morbid stuff, and one of the songs is a Granddaddy cover. So it's like, okay, yeah, Rot was awesome, Anaphylaxis was awesome, and I don't believe I ever heard the cover. So yeah, I'll spare my thoughts for now. They could just all be fucking straight up bangers. So yeah, I'm excited, but I'm also like holding it with like a grain of salt, almost like, hey, like, guys, let's not get ahead of ourselves. These aren't like brand new songs for the most part or anything, and one of them is a cover. Not to say that can't be good, but we'll see.
Are you gonna review more Radiohead albums?
Yeah, I've been reviewing one like every 6 months or so. The next one I have planned is for In Rainbows, so
nice.
Look for that sometime. I think that'll be good for probably like October, November at the latest.
Oh yeah. Rolling Stones or Beatles?
Beatles, but your dad would have my neck. We were just talking.
Me too.
We just watched Gimme Shelter the other day, the 1970 film about the 1969 events that happened with the Hells Angels working security for the Rolling Stones.
Insane.
It was insane. It was interesting. It took a little long to kind of get to the point, and obviously I know that 1970 film editing was not the easiest thing ever. But the stuff that I learned from that, it was crazy. Good documentary.
What direction do you think 21 Pilots will go in on their next album?
I think that it might be a cross between Trench and Blurryface, because like Level of Concern shows that they've got those poppier tendencies still, which is nothing wrong with that.
Guitars.
Yeah,
maybe.
but work in some, play the electric guitar, Tyler. If that's what you want to do, then absolutely play the electric. That would be...
I can see them doing like the Mute Math type stuff too, like, because they're very inspired by them.
Yeah.
As well.
R.I.P. Mute Math, though.
Oh shit, we got a super chat.
Oh shit, from who?
Alex Schmidt.
Hey, thank you, Alex.
Have you gone to any no cell phone shows? If so, was it much different than any other show?
Yeah, I have, but I'm trying to remember who the fuck that was for and why it was. Because I know Jack White does that, but I've never seen him at one of his own shows. I've only seen him at a festival. And
same with Tool.
Right, same with Tool. Right, I saw them at festivals. So they have rules for their own shows, but like not, you know what I mean. Who did I see at a no cell phone show or somebody who highly disencouraged?
Crash is here, by the way.
Oh, what up, Crash? Florence and the Machine was heavily encouraging phones to be down, but it wasn't
I think a lot of people encourage it.
Right, but it wasn't like a no cell phone show. I think it was like a smaller venue, and it was like a while ago. It was before like Instagram stories and stuff were like so big, you know. It was just like more of like a no phones, no cameras type of thing, but I cannot remember who it was. Oh, I'm pretty sure our date of the Blink-182 My Chem show that I saw in 2011 was they were pretty strict about like no cams, no phones or whatever, and that was 2011. So
right,
yeah, it was a little different back then, but still.
Would you ever do a top 10 or ranked on Metallica?
Maybe a top 10, because I do top 10s even for bands that I'm not like a massive fan of, but like a ranked, it's tougher if I'm not like a huge fan, because Metallica, I will fully admit, that are a band that I listen to more for specific songs than I do albums outside of, say, Ride the Lightning or the Black Album. Like, that's not my metal is definitely not my like calling card. Like not all the time at least. But yeah, a top 10 for Metallica I think could be fun, because I think my list would probably look very different than a lot of other people. Maybe not. I don't know. I would have to actually try and put it together.
Did you buy Pink Elephant on vinyl?
No, but I am considering it. There's been so many good albums this year that I would like. There's like more that I want to own, but it's almost like, I don't know. Sometimes I like to make sure that I'm like sure that I really, really like the album, like even beyond like just the review period and everything, like the first week. Because if I'm like on the border of like spending the money or not, it adds up for vinyl. You know what I mean? Yeah. You buy 4 records, that's
$100. You've bought a lot this year already, too,
yeah,
because everything's been so good.
Right. You buy 4 albums, that's $100. Right. You know, like that's
it. One trip to the record store and you're spending like $75.
Yep.
Sometimes.
We literally did.
I know.
When we went back to the record store for the first time since the pandemic started, because we wanted
that's the only time we've been.
Yeah, we wanted to show them some love, and bought a few records. You got the Front Bottoms. Mm-hmm. I got, I bought that Fantagram album. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
What sound would you like to hear from small bands looking to grow, as in what scene or genre needs more grassroots acts to spread it?
Can you read it to me one more time? Okay.
So right. Basically, like, what do you want to hear from, like, new bands, smaller bands? Like, what...
Like, and what would it take to spread them?
Or what genre, like, needs more going on, like...
Okay. I
guess.
Okay, let me think about that. You know, like, there's been... I think that, like, certain, like, scenes got... Like, they end up getting, like, really stale and, like, overcapitalized on. Like, if you listen to, like, the radio or whatever for rock, you would think the genre is dead, for example. You know what I mean? Like... I would like to see something akin to the early 2000s movement, where like a lot of like, say, garage rock revival or post-punk revival, or like that type of like indie movement where it was kind of just like word of mouth, people telling their friends, and like nowadays obviously you're going to be like sharing it out like on social media and stuff, like pushing it and being like, yo, listen to this artist or listen to this band. I would love to see something like in those veins just kind of blow up, but actually I would also like to see an incorporation of like the new technology like that we have at our fingertips now. Like I don't like, there's plenty of bands that are doing, say, post-punk or indie. Like, find a way to infuse like new sounds in there and not like totally stray away from the heart of the genre, but also, you know, take advantage of the fact that you can make this sound different. Don't just replicate the past. And I think that's what a lot of genres are stuck in.
All right, we got another super chat.
Yo.
I want to see if you can read this, because I don't want to mispronounce this part.
What's up? Anchester Finger.
Is that how you say
Yeah, it's from William Fox. Yeah, I don't recognize that name so far. I hate.
All right. Have you gave a listen to the new Mr. Wives record? If so, what are your thoughts? Also wanted to know if you gave a listen to the record I recommended called Thank You and Chester Finger by Harper's Jar.
By Harper's Jar. That was at like a live stream, I think. Yeah, I have not listened to the full album, no, but I have listened to the Mr. Wives record. And I might end up covering that on the album awards if I have an extra slot. I might. Let me make a note of that so I don't forget, actually, because I actually thought that it was better. It was definitely, it blew my expectations away a little bit, because I didn't think their one before this was all that fascinating to me. But yeah, Mr. Wives are a really solid band. They were big on Vine, oddly enough, like way back in like 2014 or something like that. But yeah, the album ended up being like really catchy, a lot of kind of feel good tunes. I think it was called like Super Bloom or something like that. But yeah, Harper's Jaw. If that came out this year, I might take a listen to that. Thank you, William. I really appreciate that. That was very generous of you.
Are you going to do a Beck ranked? All his albums are very different from each other, so it would be really interesting to watch.
Yeah, I would love to do that. That's definitely one that I plan to do someday, because for that very reason. Beck is always changing, always evolving, and it would make a very fun listen, because if you sit down and listen to, say, all of the Red Hot Chili Peppers album, I love them. They're one of my favorite bands, but my God, you get the point. You know what I mean? Like, at a certain level, I'm not one of those people that just, like, I know a lot of people, like, and when they're starting out with music, they're like, I only listen to, like, 3 bands. And it's like, for me, I would get so bored, you know? Like, I would just get so bored with that. But, yeah, I think it would be cool to definitely do a Beck ranked.
Have you heard the 2 latest Voids singles?
No, I did not know that they had new singles. Is that actually, or is it leftovers from the last album? Or sure. Let's check Spotify real quick. The Voids. Singles. I don't see. I mean, maybe they're I see a couple of songs that I don't recognize. Did My Best and The Eternal Teo. Is that so? Those were from 2019. Those completely slipped my radar, if that's true, because the last I remember listening to New Voids was Virtue, 2018. I'll have to give those a listen.
If you're a Stand Atlantic fan, have you heard of any Hot Milk?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Their singers used to date. I don't remember was it Hannah? I think was her name actually, from Hot Milk. Yeah, Hot Milk Hannah. I think that's her username on Instagram. Yeah, I've actually talked to Hot Milk before, like, because I posted something of theirs on Instagram, and we DM'd back and forth a couple times, like, a year ago. Yeah, I think they got some bangers. I'm excited to see what they do. I think they got a good live presence. They opened for the Foo Fighters in the UK, which is crazy. Yeah, for sure. I definitely think I like Stand Atlantic more, though, as of right now, but that's just because they have more music out.
Mm-hmm. What is the best Metallica album in your opinion? This is a super chat.
Well, thank you for the super chat. My favorite is the Black Album. That's just the first one that I heard, like, Metallica. Like, let's go. Like, that one got me super hyped. My friend Coleman in 8th grade, I would go over to his house after school, and he would show me, like, heavier stuff that he listened to, and now he's, like, in a metal band somewhere in Georgia. I think they're called Years of Sorrow, actually, so if anyone listens to them, then yeah, shout out to Coleman. He's their guitarist, I believe. I haven't talked to him in ages, but we would listen to Metallica records, and he showed me other bands like System. I knew some of their stuff, but more like full-length albums, and Disturbed and other bands like that were popular at the time.
Any advice for getting into bands with 8 albums or more?
Oh, yeah, that can be daunting. That can be such a daunting task, like... what do I like? Oh wow, they've got so many albums. Like, where do I even begin? Honestly, I don't think it's wrong to like go to a streaming platform and look at the best of. Like, they normally, I know on Spotify they have like, this is Red Hot Chili Peppers, this is fucking Paramore, like, this is Mitski, this is whoever, you know, like, there's so many different ones. They pretty much make one for everybody, I believe. I don't know if it's auto-generated or how much control the artist has, but start there. Like, shuffle. Like, just shuffle right on through that. Get a taste for the different eras of this, because sometimes there are bands that, like, hella change. You know what I mean? Like, they change, like, you think Pantera sounds the same that they do, like, in their later stuff, is, like, their early phase? Hell no. Absolutely not. Even a band like Weezer, modern day, doesn't sound like they did on Pinkerton or Blue. So, like, just shuffle it up. See what grabs your ear, and if you if you find yourself saying, like, oh, okay, that one came from this album, then start with those albums that you, like, are, like, really connecting to the songs from.
This is another super chat.
Cool. Thank you.
How many and what bands did you come back to from the last live stream, request stream?
Okay. I guess I could look at my Spotify. The last one was like a week ago? Mm-hmm. Spiritbox, Mindless Self-Indulgence, Arcane Roots, Arkells, Blocks, and The Pineapple Thief.
Let's see.
Those are the ones I saved and have to come back to again.
Thoughts on the Movements album? I know you reviewed it.
I reviewed it.
But...
like, yeah, I like it for sure.
You might want to double check all these super chats and make sure I haven't missed any.
Okay.
Just because I'm not logged into you.
Like right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like just to make sure we haven't missed any.
Okay.
Oh shit. I think we have.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Hey John, thank you so much for inspiring me to do album reviews. Where do you stand on New Politics right now? Haven't heard you mention them for a bit.
Yeah. First of all, like, that's awesome to hear. I hope things are going well with your channel. I don't know. New Politics are kind of like, I already talked about Neon Trees a moment ago, right? And like my feelings there, and I just kind of like feel like I got tired of them, and maybe in a way kind of grew out of them. New Politics are to the bigger degree of that, because they were like right around the time of like 2012, even like 2010 to like 2014. I feel like Neon Trees and New Politics were on similar trajectories where they were seeing commercial success during that time, whatever. But I don't know. New Politics, their sound just got like really old to me, and it just felt like they were singing about the exact same things, and a lot of their production just got to the point where it was super glossy. And I'll admit that I haven't heard like all of their newer stuff. Like I think they might have dropped an album last year. I really don't even know, because I just kind of let them slip off of my radar. But I mean, I'll always have a soft spot for like some of the stuff like on their first album, like Yeah and Dignity, bangers.
Another super chat. Has your ranking of Linkin Park albums changed at all?
I think it has a little bit. I haven't watched that video in a hot minute, but right now, I know this is so fresh on my head because I just did the video with Luke, ranking their albums. And obviously, that wasn't like a perfect representation of my feelings of how I would rank them, because we had to compromise on the albums that we disagreed on. I think right now, if I had to rank the Linkin Park albums on the spot, we're going best to worst. We start off with Meteora, Thousand Suns, Hybrid Theory, The Hunting Party, Living Things, Minutes to Midnight, and One More Light. Yep. I'll stand by that for now.
Do you think the new Foo Fighters album will take more of a Concrete and Gold direction, or a direction more akin to their older albums?
I could see them doing something a little bit more like Wasting Light, like a little bit rockier, and I think that's their best record. I think that they're kind of like feeling nostalgic right now because they were supposed to do the van tour this year. Obviously, it was canceled along with everything else due to COVID. They wanted to like celebrate the release of their debut album that came out in '95. It was going to be a big thing, and that sucks that they didn't get to do that. So I feel like there's just going to be an itching for like a little bit of an older type of sound, but I could see them not totally obviously leaving out Concrete and Gold, because now they have their keyboardist in the band. I believe his name's Rami Jaffé or something like that. I'm totally butchering that, but yeah, I think it'll be a little bit more rocky.
Okay. Who has impacted the last decade the most in your opinion? Lady Gaga or Taylor Swift in terms of pop music?
That's interesting. Well, I've made the point minus Folklore, of course, that I felt like a lot of Taylor's recent albums were kind of following trends instead of her kind of blazing the trail like she did with some of her records like Red and Speak Now. And as much as I like 1989, it was really popular to go 80s in 2014, was it not? Like that was so huge.
It still is,
I mean, it still is, but 2013 to 2015, I feel like we saw a really big spike in cases of fucking everybody going 80s. Yep, it was a case. I think that for that reason, she was kind of following some other trends, whereas like Joanne came out in 2016, and that was a very different record for Gaga, and I think that from the Fame, which obviously people like Ava Max are still like copying essentially to this day, the framework that she put there, to like the Fame Monster and Born This Way, and even Art Pop, which was way ahead of its time. I would say Lady Gaga, personally. And I just, not that I don't respect both of them, because I think they can both be fantastic when they're on top of their game, but Lady Gaga is just like, I don't know, almost like a outer space being compared to Taylor sometimes. You can kind of see where Taylor's going to go sometimes, and I think Folklore was a huge surprise. I'm excluding that from the discussion, but as a whole, probably Lady Gaga. Even if I did not care for Chromatica all that much.
Alright, do you prefer YouTube, Twitch, or Instagram streams?
I mean, like, it depends on, like, what it is. Like, if it's a live concert, like, the band is streaming, then, like, YouTube, right?
Oh, I mean, like,
or Twitch.
Your own
Oh,
streams.
my own stream. I was, like, watching one?
Like, doing them, sorry.
Well, I guess depends on what I'm doing. I mean, like, I think Twitch is really cool right now, but maybe that's just because it's more fresh to me right at this moment. I like doing things like in other platforms, other places or whatever, but I don't know. I do like the idea of like little Instagram streams from time to time, because you can like bring people on and stuff if like I'm in the mood to do that. They all have their benefits. It's really hard to say. That's why I stream on all three. So yeah, but live streaming in general is just like cool. It like breaks me out of my format of being like I have to be so rigid and to the point or whatever like I do in a video.
Favorite Bad Religion song or album?
Shiny Happy People. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, okay? Jesus Christ. I mean, Losing My Religion, man. That one is fucking... I know that that's like one of their biggest hits or whatever. I mean, I love Orange Crush. That's another top one for me. But if I had to pick an overall favorite song from REM, I mean, Losing My Religion, I think was one of the first songs that like really made me think about a song on a deeper level, because that song would still get play on the radio in like the mid 2000s when I was getting into rock and alternative, and that one kind of made me think, because at first I was like, oh, it's like a totally like anti-God type of song or whatever, and I was raised in a very Christian household, but it kind of got me thinking about it and being like, all right, why is he struggling with his faith or believing or whatever? So I'll definitely always have a soft spot for that one.
What is on your Spotify on repeat right now?
What are you looking at me?
You're looking
at me. You looking at me like you know.
You check.
You were looking over like
no,
you had the
I
answer.
Just think it's fun.
Well, I just listened to Future Nostalgia by Dua Lipa, the album again. It's one of my favorites of the year for sure. The new Yours Truly album, I've spun like 4 times so far, and I've really been digging that. Oh yeah, I forgot. I revisited Simulation Theory by Muse recently. Yeah, I think that was one of my I Got It Right reviews. Like the tracks that I like, the others, not really. I have been listening to a lot of Muse lately, so I guess I'll go with them, because I had one of their CDs in my car for Origin of Symmetry, and that inspired me to just start like listening to like Absolution and Black Holes and a lot of that early stuff.
Have you considered making an updated top 10 Bring Me the Horizon songs list?
I think that they're going to need to release some more material before I do that. Because as of right now, like, it's not like it's just so drastically changed. Like, maybe I would have, like, Nihilist Blues or In the Dark around the top 10, but I'm not sure. Like, I don't just want to put them there because they're new. You know what I mean? But maybe after like another album cycle.
Super chat.
Super chat.
Did you listen to the new Everything Everything album?
Yes.
Reanimator?
Yes.
If so, what did you think? When will we get a review?
No review. Not in most albums I don't review in dedicated videos these days, anyways. But I will cover it in the album awards. It will get its own segment there. Don't worry, I'm not gonna not talk about it. Reanimator is, I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit difficult for me. I feel like I fall off with it in the second half. I don't know. Right now, it's feeling like a more mid-tier record from them. It's a little bit more subdued, and I have really gravitated towards them in the past because of the eccentric qualities, I suppose, of like a lot of the songs on Get to Heaven and even what was it, Fever Dream, the album after that. I'm probably talking out of my ass because it's been a minute since I listened to that one. Let's see. Everything. What was that? A Fever Dream. I was right. All right. Yeah. And even that album, I liked a lot of songs on. But Get to Heaven is like their like gold tier for me. And I don't know. I just felt a little bit disappointed by the new one so far. Thank you for the super chat, though. Appreciated. Another one.
Thoughts on Green Day's side projects?
Let me talk like Pinhead Gunpowder and fucking Foxborough Hot Tubs and other stuff I'm missing, I'm sure. I think Foxborough is one that I've probably come back to the most because of Stop, Drop, and Roll. Obviously, they got like a full album, Mother Mary, other tracks like that I still will listen to occasionally. I don't think any of them are like necessarily up to snuff with Green Day, but they're still kind of fun, you know, just to like go and see them in like their alter ego or playing undercover, or maybe at the time it was like not publicly known if it was them or not. It's just an extra sense of mystery to it that I dig.
Okay, did you listen to the new Front Bottoms album?
Yeah, I did. I heard In Sickness and In Flames. I think there were some really good songs on there. Like Leaf Pile, Montgomery Forever, Camouflage, Everyone Blooms. Those are the ones that I think I have saved. Leaf Pile was, I guess, the only one of those that wasn't out before the album. But I don't know. I like wasn't like, I'm not in love with it. Let's just say that. But then again, like I've never been like their number one fan.
Well then. Super chat. Have you heard Starset's latest record, Divisions?
No.
If not, what are your thoughts on the band based on what you've heard from them before?
I don't like them. I don't like Starset. I think that they're more flash, more show than they are actual quality. And some of their earlier stuff I respect a bit more in its space rockiness, whatever you want to call it, atmospheric, with the way that they mixed that with rock. I don't know. Like, it's just, I feel like a lot of their lyrics really kind of fall flat for me. There's not tons of substance to the tracks or anything like that. So I cannot say that I'm a fan. But thank you for the super chat.
And another super chat.
Oh, thank you.
Excluding the White Stripes out of all the other Jack White projects, which would you say is your favorite? I would say the Dead Weather are my favorite. From William Fox.
Okay. Thank you, William. So we're talking like the Raconteurs and the Dead Weather and Jack White solo. Are we including? I guess we'll include Jack White solo. I mean, I've definitely loved a lot of his solo stuff, but the Dead Weather are fantastic. I mean, I really like all of his projects. I'm Jack White Trash 101 right over here. The Little Vampire Overlord, Pale White, going to baseball games and scowling. You gotta love him, but it's a very tough call. I think I might agree with you, though, on the Dead Weather, just slightly. I mean, I love Whorehound, Sea of Cowards, and their last record, Dodge and Burn, I thought was really a bit overlooked too.
Another super chat. Thoughts on Billy Joe's No Fun Mondays cover?
Not interested personally, really. Like, it's great, like, for those who like need to be tided over, but I guess I needed a bit of a break after Father of All. Yeah, sorry. That's probably not the answer you wanted to hear, but I haven't really listened to. I've listened to like two of them maybe, and it's just like, I don't know. It's cool, I guess, if you're into bunches of covers.
Oh, sorry. Someone's super chat got skipped. Can you check that?
I don't.
Sorry.
It's for some reason it hasn't like
Oh.
showed up in my alert queue like none of they normally do, but like it's not there right now.
Well, is there a way like on your account? Like,
Maybe.
Alright, let me try and go back.
Oh, here we go. Who was it from?
Oh, the Rider SSPU.
The Rider SSPU.
Sorry,
Oh, here it
it's
is.
Rider.
Thoughts on Halsey going a metal direction? Is that true? If so, that's kind of like the first I've heard about it. What are my thoughts on that? I mean, if it's a thing, then I say the same thing as I do to Brendan Urie of Panic at the Disco. Fucking go for it, man.
Right.
Like, let's hear it. Let's hear it. Unleash it. And we missed one from the Reverse Flash that I'm saying. Who was your favorite bassist? Those must have come in like right at the exact same time because they're back to back here. Favorite bassist? Oh God, that's tough on the spot because the bassists, like, there's so many that deserve a lot of love. And it's like, obviously the first person that made me pay attention to bass was Mike Dirnt, but I don't think he's my favorite bassist. I got so much love for like people like Flea who just like kind of like make that instrument their own. But also, like, I think Movement's bassist is really good, for example, like modern. I'm just thinking of things that like pop into my head that like I've heard that have like really good detailed bass grooves. Mikey Way deserves a lot of love from Mike Kim. I don't know if I have a favorite bassist off the top of my head though. I'd have to think about that one some more. All right. We all caught up?
I think so.
All right, cool. You gonna ask?
We got another super chat. Oh, this is actually for me.
Oh. Well, here, let me swivel that over your way.
No. Okay. What are my thoughts on the Arctic Monkeys? I think they're good. I know you're a massive fan.
Yeah.
I like certain songs by them, and like, sure, I can listen to them casually, but I've never been able to like really get that heavily into them. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, I think it's just could be like do you think it's the vocals?
I mean, yeah, maybe like on certain.
Right, it's too British for you.
No, I don't know.
That's fine.
I don't have a reason.
It's fun. It's one of those bands that we just don't fully agree on. You know what I mean? And that's to be expected.
I think they're good. It doesn't mean that I think they're not good.
Right.
It's not something that I could listen to all the time.
Right. Well, you do when you're with me. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that can be. It's like nobody's gonna have the exact same music taste.
Do you enjoy? Is it Primus?
Yeah, Primus.
Yeah.
Yeah, too. I think that they're weird, they're crazy, they're kind of cool. Like they do, but I'm not like listening to them all the time. Jerry was a race car driver and all that good stuff. I remember hearing that song for the first time on Guitar Hero, and it was just wild to me.
Yeah. Hey John, how's it going? First one of those I've seen.
Well, thank you for checking in. Who asked?
Squallow Oceano.
Oh, well, hello, Squallow. I'm better today than I was yesterday, I guess. Yesterday was a very weird, very tough day, in a lot of ways because anybody who follows me outside of YouTube may have seen this. I was getting dragged pretty heavily on Twitter yesterday, so that was fun. I tweeted out my thoughts on mainstream rap and trap, and I was like, well, I guess I could actually I took a screenshot because I ended up deleting the tweets. Let me message it to myself though, and I'll put it up on screen. I'll let you guys be the judge if you think I was being like super like close-minded or whatever, but I was pretty.
It wasn't
I was
ill-intended
right,
at
and I was
all.
pretty. I made sure to emphasize like, oh, it's my opinion or whatever,
Just
and
you, like pondering.
I think it represents like a bigger problem with like that I have with like, oh yeah, this is why I don't use this platform. This is why I choose not to normally. Let me save this real quick and I'll throw them up on screen. They're backwards, but whatever. The first tweet is second, or the second tweet is first. That's what I meant to say. All right, let me add an image here. Add source, browse, and tweets. Boom, there we go. Let me size that down real quick. There we go. All right, we'll put these up while I'm actually talking about it here. Yesterday I threw out these tweets, right? I will read them in the order that I tweeted them. 95% of modern mainstream rap/trap songs sound exactly the same to me. Same beats, same flows, same autotune, same bloated ass track list to stream troll. I genuinely don't get it. Every genre has its problems, but this, to me, isn't even worth it because it's so repetitive. Then after that, I tweeted these at the exact same time. Like, you know, you can send multiple tweets at once, whatever. I'm the last guy you come to for hip-hop opinions, and I get that it's not my forte, but I genuinely don't hate rap at all. I just feel like it's in an extremely weak place right now where almost everyone, not everyone, is rapping about the same things they always have over the most basic production pass. So that is what I put out there, and I really didn't think that I tried to word it in a way where I wasn't specifically calling out like one artist or two artists as like the problem, because what I'm referring to is like over the past few weeks, I've made an effort to try and get into some of these like artists that I constantly see on trending on YouTube, on like the Spotify viral chart, whatever. And I want to give it a chance because I like to try and keep an open mind. But over the past like 3 weeks or so, I've continuously tried, and like everything that I hear, to me, like in the charting placements, the stuff that's hitting like the Hot 100 and like the viral charts, whatever, so much of that just sounds the exact same to me. And I made it a point to say like, oh, this is like, I'm mainly referring to like trap hits here, right? Like the modern trap stuff. So that obviously isn't going to include the likes of like, say, Run the Jewels or the latest Logic tape that he put out, which I thought was like way better than I was expecting it to be. And even artists like Baby Keem and obviously Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, and Mac Miller. There's so many people in recent years that have put out brilliant rap albums and songs even. Even the new Big Sean, I thought, was surprisingly good. And Travis Scott's Astroworld. There's so many great names out there, but there's also so many, and my point was that like everything that I'm hearing on trending is pretty much almost undeniably like the exact same like rolling 808s, the same like lyrics about like, oh, I came up from nothing, which I'm sure maybe it's true, but it's like every song, I came up and now I'm fucking bitches and I'm popping pills and I'm fucking on my car and I'm fucking on my car. That's probably in there. You know what I mean, though. It's like this, the bitches and riches cliche, right? And it's just like, why would I ever like seek that out? Like it's the same thing over and over again. But people took that as the opportunity to apparently go crazy. I didn't find out about it until, because I don't use Twitter like beyond just like posting tweets, but people started commenting on my Instagram that they were like, oh man, even like Fantano's going in on you. And I saw that and I was like, all right, well, I gotta look, because my rule normally is tweet and walk away. I don't check the platform. I don't read my mentions. I don't read like my timeline. I don't use Twitter. And yeah, now I'm reminded of why I don't, because like that was kind of the last straw for me. It was fucking Fantano tweeting out and just adding fuel to the fire, knowing exactly what he was doing. And yeah, I really don't appreciate that. People took the opportunity here to basically shit down my throat for having my opinion, saying like, you only listen to pop punk, which anybody who watches my channel knows that's the furthest thing from true. They say you hate all rap, you're racist, which, I mean, when you have hundreds of people shouting these things at you, and I'm already not in the greatest place, like, because I'm reading these things, like, it just makes you, it's like, why are people, like, saying these things? And I'm like, it's because, like, now I'm looking at it with a clearer mind. It's like, it's because it's Twitter. Because people want to do anything and anything they can to get under your skin, to make you crack, to make you whatever. And yeah, I fully admit, last night I snapped. That broke me. And I was in a very, very, very dark place last night, and it was not good for me. And it was all over the tweets that you see on screen here. All of this brought out everybody that already hates me from the woodwork, and they just took it as the opportunity to dunk on me. And what I don't understand, and like a lot of people were saying, like, oh, you fucking pussy, you don't even turn the replies on. I turn the replies off on like everything that I tweet now, because I don't use Twitter. I'm not trying to debate people. I'm not trying to have like a conversation. I literally in the past always used Twitter as like my journal to like put my thoughts out there. You know what I mean? To just like if I'm like, for example, like, was I not in the past couple of weeks talking to you like, hey, I've been like watching these videos on trending and like hip hop and stuff, and I'm like, I just can't get into it. It's like, it's on my mind. And so I finally put the thought out there. And what do you know? Fucking, like, I guess I learned my lesson again. Like, I'll take the punch in the face and the punch in the spirit and the punch in the like mental health department and walk away, because it's so toxic. It's so ridiculously toxic. The replies, if you want to criticize me for saying that, that's totally fine. If you think I'm being narrow-minded, sure. You can add all of the insight to that you want, and show me an artist that you think is going to prove me wrong or blow my mind or whatever in that genre, in that scene. But 99.5% of the quoted tweets on that were calling me a fucking racist, that I need to kill myself, that I have, like, you only listen to Green Day, you only listen to pop punk, whatever. And it fucking, like, it crushes your spirit a bit when you see so many people turning on you and hating you. And it's, like, beyond even me. It's such a bigger problem with our world right now, where I feel so bad for the kids who can't take it, who actually, if they ever...
Most people cannot take it.
No,
Just to FYI, it's not normal.
No, it's never gonna be fucking normal to see hundreds or thousands or millions in some cases, depending on who you are. It's never gonna be normal to see people fucking dunking on people or hating based on nothing, based on baseless allegations, sometimes based on something as simple as this.
Putting words in your mouth.
This is, a lot of the tweets, I would say a good 50% of them put words in my mouth. And it fucking made me buckle, and it made me just feel so low. So shout out to all of y'all like that were a part of that. That was fantastic. You included, Fantano. Really appreciate that one. Thank you for dunking on me. I hope it was worth your likes. I hope it was worth your clout, whatever. Because now looking at it from like being like, all right, I'm removed from the situation. I'm leaving Twitter alone, like, again. And like, I've learned my lesson. This is not a place where I can share an opinion, and not anymore. And I really feel that I worded that as carefully as I could, saying to me, it's not, and I understand that this isn't my forte, and I just feel like rap is terrible and you should hate it too. That's basically what the words that they put in my mouth.
Yeah, well, I said this to you last night, if any of those people were having, like, if you had brought this up in person in conversation, it would have been a totally different
and I guarantee they would.
mood.
I guarantee that the mood would be different, and that I would be able to explain my point of view in a way that
it's
you
just
understand.
A conversation,
but
and everyone takes everything so serious, so deep. Like,
right,
it's not that.
Right, it's not that fucking deep, dude. And if I'm as irrelevant as you say I am, then why are you giving me the attention?
Yeah, they flock to you at every chance they get, every time you quote unquote fail, or they try to embarrass you or whatever.
Well, yeah, it's just like I don't know. It's like, they come out. They don't follow me. They come out of the woodwork. They find it, and they look for any excuse. Oh, he fucked up again. Let's go, everybody, gang. I'm sure that there were Discord notifications going out, group text. Everybody go, retweet, quote tweet.
You're not perfect. It's just
I'm not.
Like you're a fucking person too, and it just kind of. It sucks.
Yeah, it does. It absolutely sucks.
Our mental health is already at its worst.
Yeah, I haven't.
Which is why I don't upload anymore.
I haven't even talked to you guys publicly about this, but I think it's important, so I guess I will. Let me go ahead and take this off screen. I started therapy less than a month ago, for the first time in my life, really. I think maybe when I was a little kid I might have gone, but I don't really remember it. It was just kind of something that they recommended for me because like I had like a lot of anxiety as a child. I had this phobia where I thought I was going to like choke every time I ate. So I think I ended up seeing a therapist for that. But in my adult life, in my like age 10 and up life, I've never seen a therapist before, but I always wanted to. And I always just had this, I guess, preconceived notion of, oh, it's going to be so expensive. I can't afford it, whatever. Well, fast forward to now, and I'm actually, with my health insurance, able to see somebody, and I'm going once a week right now. And I think it's such a good thing for people to do. Like, if you're struggling and you don't feel like you can talk to a friend, or maybe your parents will, maybe they're not accepting, or they're very judgmental, or whatever, it's very important, no matter if you're older or if you're younger. Like, there's to have somebody to be able to talk to, and somebody helpful, somebody that knows how to help you find solution to things that pop up, whether that just be feeling overwhelmed or stressed or whatever. But I think that therapy is extremely important. I think that for me, it's like because of things like this that happen to me, and it's like people are like, well, you know, you put it out there, right? Like you're asking for it. You should be able to take whatever comes your way. And it's like, I put out I put out criticism, and I put out my thoughts, my opinions, so I need to be subjected to be called racist.
So you have to be perfect.
So, like what? Like, it's just like nobody should have to hear something like that. And I say that for anybody who's ever felt the wrath of any movement, any fandom, any backlash that was unwarranted. And it's like, if I was out provoking and like tweeting all of these, like tagging tons of rappers in the tweet and saying y'all are all trash or something, I get it. Like, I fucking, yeah, come on. Like, bring it on. Like, I totally had that coming. But I don't know. To me, it's hard because I know that I was not in the wrong. I know I didn't do anything wrong, and I genuinely stand by that 100%. I stand by my thoughts in those tweets 100%. But it's not worth it. For the sake of my mental health, it's not fucking worth it. And I advise the same thing to you guys. Like, start up a fucking alternate account or something on Twitter that you don't follow anybody on and nobody follows you. Set it to private, and if you need to get your thoughts out on something, just do it. Or type it out in a note on your phone, because, like, I think in this day and age where we have to tiptoe around and pretend that we love everything all the time, or if it's super popular to hate it, then we have to pretend to hate it, you know? Like, just be able to think for yourself and not worry about those things. And especially if you feel like you're going to get shit for something and you don't think that you're stable enough to handle it, which I don't think 99.9% of people are, then just leave it alone. I mean, look at Fantano. 2 weeks ago, he was insulting that song or whatever on stream, and I know his stream voted to skip the song or whatever, and they did. But, like, he went on like a 24-hour tirade on Twitter. But I put out some thoughts or whatever, and suddenly I'm just like the worst thing ever, and people forget so quickly. I know this won't even be a thing in like a week, but I don't know. It's frustrating to see where
it's your life.
So it is, and it's frustrating to see where people's like loyalties lie or don't lie. But yeah, sorry for the extended sequence there, but let's get back to the super chat that I see you've got here.
Yeah. What is the most underrated album of the past 20 years? Enjoy your videos, by the way.
Thank you for that. Most underrated album of the past 20 years?
Very specific.
That's a very specific, it's a very tough question, too. Underrated? God. Shall I roll over here?
Maybe.
God. That's a very difficult question, buddy.
There's different levels of underrated
right.
too. Like,
right.
There's underrated mainstream albums. There's like shit that like nobody's even heard of underrated.
Right.
There's so much. It's kind of hard to pin one.
I mean, honestly, how about of this year? How about I say of this year? Because I don't think I can say of the past 20 years. But you're gonna let me off on a technicality because it's 2020, so we still got 20 in the title. I think the most underrated album of this year is Brave Faces Everyone by Spanish Love Songs. I mean, that song, nobody. Okay, yeah, some people that watch my channel and in our circles might know it. But like in a larger collective, you ask 80 people on the street, I guarantee you that at least 79 of them are gonna say who.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's definitely going to be one in the future that's going to be super underrated. But I don't know if I'm sorry. I don't think I can really give a proper answer to that on the spot.
Who here's another super chat.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Hey man, Twitter's toxic AF and out of control. You didn't deserve that. People are so fast to accuse others of being racist for nonsensical reasons.
Thank you for that. I really do appreciate you. First, the super chat, and two, saying that, because that means a lot. And it means a lot that I know that I have a support system here on YouTube. And I genuinely don't feel that I'm going out of my way to be an asshole. In the past, I can admit that I've done that. I quit Twitter. I walked away from Twitter.
The last year and a half, you've been really good.
I've been so much more at peace in that regard. And yes, I slipped up last night.
It's just not enough. We need to cut it off.
Right, I need to cut it off. I just need to stop thinking. Apparently I need to stop thinking that I can share my opinions in a text format, because apparently I just need to make a video and fully dive into it, or else just post it on Instagram where no one can reply.
Yeah, Instagram.
But you're avoiding criticism. Calling me racist. You're
just a person.
Calling me racist and telling me that my taste in music is shit is not criticism. You're turning your replies off because you don't want criticism. No, I'm turning my replies off because I don't want you screaming at me that I'm racist. And guess what? It happens anyways. Yeah, it's bullying. It's bullying.
It's literally.
Let's call it what it is. Call it what it is, right? Yeah. Thank you for the super chat, though. That means a lot. That means a lot. And guys, I haven't had the chat up in front of me. Obviously, if you've gathered that, Hannah's been reading off all the questions. But thank you to everybody who's hanging out and fucking with it. After this, by the way, we're probably gonna wrap this up in the next 10 minutes. We're moving over to Twitch, and I'm going to be streaming Fully Ado by Fall Out Boy in full. It's a listening party, live reactions, all that good stuff. We're going to listen to the full album. So go follow me, ARTV Games, and as soon as this stream ends, give me 2 minutes, and we'll be back online over on Twitch. All right, but yeah, let's take a few more questions before we close out here.
All right, let's see if I can find some good ones.
Thank you guys for listening to me. I know that was extended, but it was just it's on my mind. I wanted to talk about it, and I hope that's cool.
Are you gonna do a Radiohead ranked?
Yes.
And they said if you're waiting for a new album to be put out, it's gonna be at least 1 to 2 years. So if you do one now, it'll hold up for a bit.
I would prefer it to hold up a little bit longer than that, though, because at this point it's already been 4 years. So if I had put out the ranked in say 2017, okay, yeah, I can be proud of that for 4 years, but if it's just going to be another year or two, I would rather wait and get it right, because I've really been enjoying my journey with Radiohead. I know all their albums. I know all of their albums now, but it's nice to be able to sit and kind of appreciate, and not just oh, I heard this album for the first time a month.
Give them distance.
Right, give them distance and come back. Yeah, exactly. I want to give it more than for example, on some ranked episodes, some of these albums from a band I have never heard until I start working on the video. So you know what I mean? If I come back, my opinion might change if I hear it, say, once, 6 months ago, and then I hear it again 3 months ago, and then I hear it again now. It's spaced out.
Yeah, think about even a year ago, how much more you've, grown on them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're in my top 10 now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're in my top 10 favorite bands. And I literally... I'm gonna flip this around here. See if you can see
yes!
that. I got it on my wall now, yo.
It's the new backdrop.
That's the new backdrop
for us to look at.
Yep, it's behind us during the streams. Oh, and there's my Sonic Temple guest pass and our Demon Days cosplay.
Okay, another super chat.
Well, thank you. You guys have been super generous. Thank you.
I wore a Spanish Love Song t-shirt to the store, and the clerk thought I liked Spanish music. What is your favorite song from Brave Faces? Everyone, and from Schmaltz?
Oh, man. Okay, so from Schmaltz, my introduction to them was Beer and NyQuil. So that, I think, still holds up as my favorite, just because it opened my heart to Spanish love songs. But off of the new album, it's so hard, because I think it's a flaw. I think it's a perfect album. I think it's a perfect album. So it's probably between Routine Pain, Kick, Losers Part 2, the title track Brave Faces, Everyone.
So half the album.
And Beachfront Property. Routine Pain, just because it made me cry within 30 seconds of starting the song for the first time, and I hadn't heard any of the singles from it, and I just started the album not on a whim, but it was sent to me a little bit early before the album came out, and I just decided to check it out. I saw the label they were on, and I fucking was crying within 30 seconds. And I was like, oh yeah, this is the band that I know that one song from. And then I ended up like checking out like Schmaltz and everything else in their back catalog. Thank you for the super chat regarding Spanish love songs. That's fun to talk about.
What are some other bands you've considered making ranked for?
Jimmy Eat World, for sure. I want to, at some point, probably maybe after another album, I want to redo Green Day ranked. But Jimmy Eat World, Beck, as we talked about earlier, Tool. I'm trying to think of who else I've started like the process for. Like I at least like write down like some general thoughts on albums. I'm sure there's others that I've written down and I'm kind of forgetting that have at least 5 albums now, because that's my rule and they need to have at least 5. I hate that I did the Strokes last year because they ended up putting out another album, and that was frustrating because, well, not frustrating. It's like, great, they've got another album, but frustrating because I just did my ranked and now it's already outdated. But yeah, there's certainly a few that I have in mind that I would absolutely love to do.
How often would you do an update of your favorite bands list?
I think every 3 to 4 years is good, because I waited 3 years in between the last one, a little over 3 years. So I think 3 to 4 years, kind of like an album cycle almost, you know. I have always said in the past I like around 3 years sometimes between albums, depending on the artist, of course. But maybe every 3 years or so.
Are you going to do a top 10 or ranked with Gorillaz when Song Machine comes out?
Well, I've already done a top 10 on Gorillaz, but I mean, maybe if it like, I don't think I would redo the top 10 yet. But a ranked though, yeah, that could be cool. But I also kind of feel like with this Song Machine stuff that they're doing, who's to say that they're not just going to do Song Machine all throughout next year, and then my list again is instantly outdated, because this album that they're putting out is more of like almost a collection of the Song Machine singles plus some other times for Strange Times. So yeah, no ranked yet, I don't think. I think I'll just go ahead and say I'm going to hold off until I know that they're kind of inactive for a bit.
What's a recent album that you've done a complete 180 on, whether it be in a good way or a bad way?
I don't know. I think complete is so hard. I don't know that there's any. Like, I generally will know relatively quickly. Like, even if it's like, okay, even if at first, for example, like the Movements album, I thought it was kind of meh at first, but it wasn't like a complete 180. I never thought it was like bad. I just was like a little underwhelmed at first, but I was also hella tired when I listened to it the first time. But I guess that's the most recent memory one that I kind of changed my opinion on. But I don't know. I generally, it's very seldom that I feel like I do a complete 180. Like, there's some from my past, like, for example, like Get Your Heart On by Simple Plan. I like loved it when it came out because, oh, it's like pop punk and they're back, it's 2011, yay. But like now I look back and I'm like, oh my god, why did I like that?
Will you do another song pong in the future with Brad or anyone in general?
Yeah, dude, I would love to do one with Brad Taste. I would really like to. I would really like to do.
Have to involve traveling.
It would,
though,
yeah.
so
He lives in like Arizona
really
or some shit. I think he lives in Arizona, and I'm in North Carolina, so that doesn't exactly work. But I would love to do another one. It just depends on like if I can get like a guest here that I haven't done before. We shot one with Crash Thompson and Viral Wreck, and it did not go well. I'm sorry, Crash, if you happen to be here, or Johnny, but you guys are not good at beer pong. Like, holy shit. We had like 2 hours of footage
the game wasn't even over.
Wasn't I playing both of them at the same time? And like we still couldn't get through it. Oh man, it was hilarious. Like, love to both of them. I love them both. They're very dear friends, but we could not. I mean, we shot the song pong, but we literally, it took like after like a year of sitting on the footage and like occasionally looking at it, we said, let's just scrap this one.
It looked really bad too. The lighting was awful. It was just,
and we had literally 2 hours of footage for one game.
I was like, do I have to really go
you would have had to cut that down to like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was not. There was no way it was going to be that short, and we didn't want to put out like a 40-minute fucking video either.
No.
So.
All right, let's take one more question before we move. Guys, if you're just joining in, we're moving over to Twitch right after this. So be sure we're gonna listen to Folie à Deux by Fall Out Boy in full. So right after this finishes, head there because that stream is started. The link is in the description. ARTV Games on Twitch. We are starting immediately after this stream. Give me like 2 minutes in between.
Okay, last question. Would you ever consider paying for a virtual concert or attend a drive-in concert? Lots of bands are doing the virtual way and are selling tickets for such events.
Yes, but like more so because I want to show them some support.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, for example, I'm probably gonna buy tickets to that Boston Manor show that they announced, the virtual one. And it's like, I'll watch it, but I'm only mainly doing it because it's like I would obviously rather be there in person. It is. And it's like for Wallows, I don't feel bad about not buying theirs because like Dylan Minette's like making hella fucking Netflix money and stuff. Like they're fine. Like they're doing all right. Like they have other avenues, and I think that a band like Boston Manor like deserve the extra support. Not that Wallows don't. Like especially if you're a fan. Like I would love to see like clips from that live stream. I'm sure it'll be great. But band like Boston Manor, yeah, I'll do it, but it's not like I'm like so excited for it or whatever because it's just like it's hard to get excited when it's virtual, I guess.
Yeah.
What was the other part of the question though? Was it or a drive-in?
Yeah.
It depends on the artist. If like Muse were like, yeah, we're coming through your city, and yeah, right.
I feel like
first
it would
of
be
all,
a smaller band.
it would be okay. Let's say
like a medium tier.
Let's say Modern Baseball announced that they were coming back, and they're doing a drive-in tour. And I would be like,
that would sell out in seconds.
I'd be like, all right, well, I have to go. Yeah, but yeah, I would do it.
Like, what do you think of the whole like idea of drive-in shows? Like, is it safe? Is it not safe?
Is it safe?
I think it depends how they do it.
It depends on like the UK is doing it right. The UK is doing it right. The US do not follow our lead on anything.
The US pretends to do drive-in, and then everyone just gets out of their car and crowds around.
Right. It's bullshit. Let's be honest. But. Yeah, did I see a super chat come in at the last second there?
Yeah, let me double check. Actually, there's no question.
Who was it from? I just want to give
Jackson Steele.
Jackson Steele?
And there was one before also with no question, Alexandra.
Oh, well, thank you, Alexandra and Mr. Jackson Steele. Thank you guys so much for those. You guys were super generous. I really appreciate it. All right, we are ending the stream here. Come over, hang out on Twitch. We're listening to Folie à Deux by Fall Out Boy in full. I've already got it set up. I just got to log out on Streamlabs and log into Twitch, and then we're going live. So I will see you over there. Thanks for hanging out and asking the questions and for your super chats and everything. Yeah, and I will see you momentarily. Peace.